Guys, just a quick one here. I thought I would film just to get people's minds around what's going on. You may have seen on my YouTube lately, I posted tons of profit videos and I'll just post more as time goes on. Lots of members are joining the Academy. Don't forget, if you want to do that, go underneath. I'm just going to explain a few factors on variance in this video. Hey guys, welcome to this video. Will Sebastian here again. Don't forget, if you want to learn how to make thousands per month tax-free out of bookmakers, just go underneath this video. I've posted many videos on how I've done it myself for a considerable period of time. So in this video, we're going to go over how does variance work in value betting, because it's a absolutely key component. And many people don't understand it fully. They don't sort of get how it works, and it stops them, puts them off. And it really shouldn't, because, not understanding these things is what is going to lead you not to claim all that money from those bookies. So an easy explanation by myself, Will Sebastian, founder of the BeProfitSmart Betting Academy. So variance in sports betting basically describes, it's almost an interchangeable term with one you may find familiar, which is volatility. It just basically describes how far away you swing from an average. If you win a lot of money all in a row, you're going to have a variance swing to the upside. If you lose a lot of money in a row, you're going to have a variance swing to the downside. And if you win, lose, there isn't a lot of variance. And it's the same with volatility. Something that's very volatile will have big swings either way. Okay, so nice and easy to understand that. And it's directly affected by things like odds, stake sizes, the amount of selections within any, betting scenario, if you've got a wider field of horses or not, because that is all going to dictate the size of what you win and how frequently you do win. Okay, and typically odds, stake sizes, they're going to be things that do that. Sometimes if you've got more runners as well, you might even see higher odds across the board. So nice and easy to get that. It's basically at the core how far you swing up or swing down at any time. And that is going to happen within value betting. That is a natural part of value betting and sports betting overall. So what causes high variance? Well, higher variance is likely to occur when you're placing larger amounts of money on bets. Therefore, you will have bigger profits if you do win, but you also have bigger losses if you do lose. Okay, so obviously, if you're betting 200 or 300 pounds rather than 100 pounds, you're going to win 2 or 3 times as much. But obviously, if you lose, you're also going to lose 2 or 3 times as much. So that's why you have to be very careful with bankroll, because obviously, if your bankroll can't sustain those stake sizes, should you go on a loss streak, we always win in the end, but there are loss streaks in between, then it's not going to work out. You're going to bust. And similarly, taking higher odds means when you win, you will get paid out more. But when you lose, you're going to lose a lot more of the time. Okay, higher odds means something is less likely. Therefore, you are less likely to win. Therefore, it's going to mean you need to place more bets on average to eventually win. Of course, when you do win, you win more. But again, if your bankroll isn't sufficient, then you will bust before you win, which is a big problem in the high variance scenario. Okay, so higher odds and higher stake sizes are going to create the room for a swing wildly away from your average balance, or at least your starting point. So if you think about a race with a lot of horses in it, picking a winner is just going to be harder. You may find there are a lot of high odds horses there because it's, the horse is less likely to win the more competitors you put in that race. Therefore, again, like I said, you'll have to bet more to actually end up winning. If you look at a horse race with 10 horses in it, okay, fair chance of winning perhaps. If you double the amount of horses, the odds are going to change. So conversely, what causes low variance? Well, taking lower odds means you're more likely to win and you'll win lower amounts. So typically, if you take a low variance route, you'll be looking at bets where you have lower odds, okay? And that simply is just because it's more likely you will win. Of course, when you do win, you're not going to win as much, but it just means, unlike, higher odds, you don't have to wait for those massive swings. So it suits lower bankrolls, essentially. If you think about a coin flip, there's only 2 outcomes, heads or tails. it's a good chance you're going to win a fair amount of the time. Because it's a low variance game. Instead of having 20 outcomes like a wide horse field, suddenly you've only got 2. So what is better then? Well, to be honest, it really just depends. Higher odds typically are going to have larger variance, but they do have more value. So for larger bankrolls, that's ideal because it means you can still stake the same amount, and therefore you'll just get more on the value, more on the EV. You are more likely to swing, in terms of profit and loss, have higher variance, but because you've got the bankroll to justify that, it doesn't matter. You can still take lesser size bets on those higher odds if you choose to, and then overall, it's going to keep you a lot safer. You'll still get the same value as someone else who has a lower bankroll, but nonetheless, it does keep you safer. Lower odds, of course, have lesser variance, but mostly have lesser value. Okay, so you can bet more to make up for that. So lesser stakes on higher odds typically are better because although you get more value, you can't bet the same size, in most cases, unless you've got a really high bankroll. Lower odds have lesser variance. So if you bet a bit more, okay, it's not going to be a big issue as long as you stick within the ideal bankroll requirements and it's justified. It doesn't mean you bet everything you've got. It means you just bet a little bit more than you would on higher odds because the chance of you losing is lower. Therefore, you're not going to get a big swing. Therefore, it won't allow you to bust. So generally, when I teach and myself, I take various odds, high odds, low odds, and I just change the stakes. If you can learn to trust the variance, okay, if you can understand this, it pays. Many people start and quit because they don't trust the process. They don't trust the variance. You just have to get to grips with the fact that you can go on a losing streak. But ultimately, if you're taking value, you'll win. Just remember, bookmakers go on losing streaks too. Some customers keep winning and winning and winning. Okay, but they know in the end, as long as they've got the edge, they will take everything off the gambler. So you need to be the bookmaker essentially and take that same stance and just bet at value, trust the variance, get paid. Remember, if you want to learn to bet for income, go underneath. See you in the next one.